some scary movie.
Like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
Kill her, Mommy. Kill her.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
This is my boomstick. Here's Johnny.
I have to return some videotapes. We'll tear your soul apart.
Hello and welcome to All Things Horror, the podcast that reviews horror movies both old and new. I'm Ben and I'm joined here with Matt, and we're going to have a brief spoiler-free chat about today's movie before going through the plot in a bit more detail. And then, as always, we'll finish off with our own personal ratings. So the movie today that we're going to be talking about is The People Under the Stairs from 1991. And it's written and directed by Wes Craven.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of her.
New youngster guy. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, in my opinion, this is a very kind of like underrated movie. Not many people have like seen or even heard of this movie, but
I'd heard of it, but I hadn't seen it.
yeah, it is surprising considering it's a Wes Craven movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but
Is it one that you remember from when you were a kid?
yes, yeah. I think I had this on VHS back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's kind of got a bit of a feel of like a TV movie to it. I don't know if it was a
Yeah.
TV movie released or whatever. Even though just from the kind of, it almost looks like something you'd see on TV. Whether it's the direction or the film stock, or whether it's filmed on video, or I don't know. There's something.
yeah.
But the name of it made me think it was a really old Wes Craven film before I looked into it, because I was like, his earlier films tend to have longer names.
The Last
longer
House on the
titles.
Left.
Yeah.
Last House
So
on the
it
Left,
kind
The
of-
People Under the Stairs. Yeah.
Yeah, it made me think of that. So, and I believe that they're doing a remake, or they've done a remake of this.
I read something about that. Is that out, or are they doing it? Or
Oh no, it's not even. Sorry, no, I misread pre-production on my notes as post-production, but no, so they've not actually done anything yet.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, I
So,
thought so. I see something about a remake, and
But nothing in detail other than one of the people working on it. The only name I got is the person who made the Doom Patrol TV series, which I wanted to see, but I never got around to, with Brendan Fraser and Timothy Dalton and all that kind of stuff, which looked quite good.
All right.
So I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm
Yeah.
not sure how that's gonna work.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I had this on VHS, and it would have been like one of my earlier ones that I'd seen. But obviously back then, I'm just kind of like picking up films, chucking them on, not knowing what they are, and it's later on in life when I'm looking more into like, the cast and the directors and people who've written it, and I was surprised that it was Wes Craven, because obviously at that time I'd have known him from Scream and Nightmare, because it does not feel like a Wes Craven film. I know it's weird
It's not
to say,
extreme, is it?
No.
It's not like it's like more like a grim fairy tale.
Yeah. I mean, especially like you say, like he starts off with Last House on the Left, and then Nightmare, and then Scream. Oh no, Scream would have been after this, wouldn't it? 96, I think. This is 91.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, but yeah, it's a bit of a variety of different types of movies he has. I know I say it quite a few times, like everyone has their own feel to the movies. John Carpenter, I think, has a very Carpenter-esque type feel, and the guy that did the Saw movies and all the newer ones, like the Conjuring ones, what's his name?
Oh, James Wan.
James Wan. Yeah, James Wan definitely has like his own kind of like feel directing wise, but Yeah, I don't know. Wes Craven's kind of got his own mix-up.
Yeah, I think he's quite. I was thinking about that, and I think reading interviews with him, I think he had a real kind of, obviously there's that kind of extreme period of films that he did, and they were quite violent and aggressive and uncomfortable making. But then I think he actually felt bad about some of those, about making some of those and some of the things that were in them, because he was actually quite a sensitive and gentle guy. Right. And then I think you've got a kind of up and down with that, where he leans into what a Wes Craven film should be, or he moves completely away from it. So I feel like his career kind of ebbs and flows depending on how he feels emotionally about his own work.
Yeah.
Because everybody I've spoke to who knew him has said what a gentle, sensitive person he was throughout his career. So when you think of things like The Last House on the Left, or just some particularly The Last House on the Left, and elements of some of his other earlier films, it doesn't feel like something he could even, like The Hills Have Eyes, like parts of Hills of Eyes is quite grim as well. So yeah, it's maybe just a bit of ebb and flow, I think, with how he feels about his own work.
I feel like as well, like he comes up with movies that inspires him to make what it is he makes. Like every film, well, I'm not sure every film he's done, but most films that he's done have been loosely inspired by events that have happened in his life.
Yeah, reading a newspaper article on something, or
like Nightmare on Elm Street. Obviously, he read about it. What was it? Someone in his childhood, he knew someone called Fred or something. Or
I think there was
it reminded him of something, and then like a newspaper article, someone died in their sleep, and I feel like The Hills Have Eyes had some kind of inspired thing on it. But then I read about this one. This one was based on true events as well. I wrote it down. It's so Wes Craven stated there was a news story in the 70s where two burglars broke into a house, and when the police investigated it, they heard noises coming from behind locked doors, and when they got in, they found children that were locked up, and they were never allowed to go outside, and that's what inspired him to make this movie.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's crazy. I mean, it's a more, I don't know, say more family friendly, but it feels like kind of more of a Frighteners, or a kind of, it's slightly darker than that, but more of a kind of, because there's a kid as the lead, and there's children in it, so it feels a little bit more like a Goonies kind of feel or something like that to it. The cast is really, really good. It's like, I know I said about it being like a TV movie, but the cast is movie standard. I'd like David Lynch, but I've watched Twin Peaks and things, but I never realised that Everett McGill and Wendy Robie from this, who were the man and woman, the husband and wife, were husband and wife in Twin Peaks as well.
Right.
And I'd recognised Everett McGill because his face is so distinct and kind of striking. But I would say that the cast is great. The kid's good as well. Who I've not really seen him in anything else, but he's got enough personality. Obviously, you got Ving Rhames is in it. Shane Warren. There's quite a lot. AJ Langer, who plays Alice, was in, and this is going to show my age, was in a show I used to watch quite a lot in my teens called My So-Called Life, with Claire Danes and Jared Leto. And AJ Langer who plays Alice, was like the cool friend, like the cool best friend who was always kind of getting into trouble. I think, and I'm not sure if this is 100% true, but this is a bit of a weird fact. She lives in London now, and I think she's in the royal family, like a countess or something. I think she married like somebody in the royal family.
Oh, wow.
So that girl, so Alice from The People Under the Stairs is a royal.
Wow. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
I can't remember if I asked you this already, but had you already seen this movie? I'm assuming you've heard of it.
I'd heard of it, but no, I'd never seen it.
Oh, right. Okay. So, without giving any spoilers, is it what you expected it to be?
No, not at all. I thought it was going to be like a hard watch, like Last House on the Left.
Yeah. I
That's
would
what I thought it
imagine
was
that's
gonna be
probably
like.
what most people think.
That might be the reason I didn't watch it, because I wasn't a massive fan of Last House on the Left.
Yeah.
I find it a bit, and I don't even think Wes Craven was a massive fan of it either. But yeah, it's. I think as well, a lot of films to sort of to give him credit for that is Last House on the Left is a exercise in feeling really uncomfortable and revenge and things. But he wasn't the only person making films like that around the time. I think it was a lot of films like I Spit on Your Grave and Night Train Murders and things like, and this one were very much a response to Vietnam and the horrors of Vietnam. So people doing incredibly inhuman things leaked into films as well.
Yeah.
So, I don't think Wes Craven was doing anything wrong. It was just maybe he even shocked himself with the extremity of things. Whereas with this, it's like I don't know, like a fairy tale, a dark comedy. There's some satire in, there's some silliness in it. There's still some scary bits. So yeah, no, it was nothing like I'd anticipated. Nothing like I thought it was going to be.
I suppose you can remember what year Last House on the Left came out, did you? That was his first one.
Yeah, so I reckon it's either early 70s or late 60s. I'm
just looking at my
1972.
VHS. I've got Hills Have Eyes on VHS, but I can't find a date on here anywhere.
Yeah, so Last House on the Left, 72.
I think this was late 70s. 77?
Yeah, I reckon it. I would guess something like 77.
Yeah. No, it doesn't say on here anyway.
Let me have a quick look. So... Yeah, before Swamp Thing. So 77, 77.
Ah, that's right.
And it did actually... Hills Have Eyes did actually get a certificate, get an X certificate, whereas The Last House on the Left didn't get rated at all.
Right.
So yeah, and then pretty much everything. Then obviously, Swamp Thing was a PG, and Hills Have Eyes 2 was an 18. We moved to 18s in this country. Nightmare on Elm Street's 18, all the way through to Nightmare on Elm Street 4, which is just he only gets a character credit. There's a 15, but I can't really find much. I'm just wondering if things have kind of tamed. But The People Under the Stairs, it says here, was an 18. So.
Oh really? Well, that's not what my DVD says.
What does it say on your DVD?
My DVD says it's a 15.
Ooh.
Unless I don't know. Unless it's changed over the years. I don't know.
This is it. Maybe for different media, it might be different thing. But yeah, The People Under the Stairs, 1991. This is just off IMDb. 1991 at 18, 1 hour 42. And I don't know. Maybe there's an unrated cut, or
how does it work with certificates? Is it once you got it, and that's it, or over the years? Can it go down? You know, because I'm thinking films like Halloween or something, 1978. I would imagine that's an 18. Yeah, that's an 18. Halloween,
and it
but
would have been then. Yeah.
You think about it, Halloween's got no blood in it.
Yeah,
or very, very minimal.
It would be a 15 or like a. Plus, America's different, isn't it? But like a 12 or something, maybe. I don't know for Halloween.
Even
I suppose it'd be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it works really. I know that you don't get like a completely different classification or whatever. It might just be that there's like different cuts, and if you release a different cut, it gets rated differently. So, for example, if you did like an extended cut, but then also do you remember when like the tail end of VHS or like the beginning of DVD, people would pay or get very excited about getting, say, like Wedding Crashers, the unrated cut, or like something, or The Hangover, the unrated cut for like saucy comedies. So I don't know how it works. I imagine if you're releasing a different version, it classes as a different film, but everything else, if it's exactly the same, then it would stay the same as what it was. But obviously it's different in different countries as well.
Yeah.
So I've not really answered the question there, but I think that's how it.
Cool. All right. Shall we jump into this plot and start talking about it?
Yeah, let's go.
Sweet. Right, let me hit that spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning.
All right, so the movie starts off with our main kid, Poindexter, but everyone calls him Fool. Not quite sure which one's worse, but yeah, Poindexter or Fool. He and his family, they're being evicted, so some guys convince him to help burgle the landlords. Only problem is their landlords are insane psychos. And they're called the Robesons. I'm not sure if it's actually said, but they're called the Robesons. But they go by names Mummy and Daddy.
Ah, okay.
Grim.
Yeah. I got. The only thing I could find was like, they call each other Mummy and Daddy, but like man or woman. I got in the credits.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, that's what it's credited as, just man and woman.
Man, woman, fool, Alice.
Yeah.
And obviously their relationship is pretty creepy.
Oh yeah. And like once they're in the house, Fool finds like one of the dead guys, like one of the guys he went in with, and he's dead. And then there's a load of strange children locked inside the basement, but Fool manages to get away. But the other guy gets shot to death by Daddy. Oh man, I'm gonna have to call him Mummy and Daddy throughout this, aren't I?
Well, you can always go with man and woman, I guess.
Oh god, yeah, Mummy and Daddy. Yeah. So far, obviously, this being your first view, what are you thinking? Because it is kind of, it's not silly. Obviously, there's quite a fair bit of humour kind of like scattered through it, but if you were thinking like Last House on the Left, and you go, okay, all right, let's put this on, and then so far you're seeing this, what's going through your head? What are you thinking?
I just thought it felt a bit like Eerie Indiana or something like that, or like a kind of anthology show from around that time. I was like, oh, cool, Ving Rhames, or, you know what I mean? But there wasn't, and they were obviously the couple were a bit weird, and as we get on, I think the most disturbing thing is the rubber suit later on. But that stayed in my mind.
That stayed in my mind for about 20 years.
That's why you're really into rubber suits. But like, there's some weird stuff going on, but nothing too shocking. The only thing that I think early on with the dog related stuff, I was like, oh no, here we go. It's going to be some horrible thing. Now, I looked into this, that they used 4 different dogs to be Prince.
Right.
Do you want to know the names of the 4 dogs?
Go on.
Brutus, Bubba, Schultz, and Zeke.
Bubba. I like Bubba. Yeah, definitely seems like a Bubba.
But when the dog was attacking Ving Rhames, I was like kind of rooting for the dog and didn't want anything bad to happen to the dog. It's like, you have gone into their house. You are robbing their house.
Yeah. So yeah, like Fool, he fled off, and he finds a couple of people. Alice, who's the daughter of these 2 weirdos, Mummy and Daddy, and Roach, who's a boy that's got no tongue, and he lives in the walls.
Yeah.
We learn that the people under the stairs were children who broke the rules of Mummy and Daddy, which is see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. And Daddy finds Fool and is thrown to the people under the stairs, but then kills Roach after he helps him escape. Which is quite sad. I liked Roach.
Yeah, Sean Whalen has a good kind of line in sort of weird-looking characters who you kind of feel a bit sorry for. like either they like super geeky or weird or strange behaviors, and you kind of feel sorry for them. But yeah, when he dies, it's like that's quite sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's sympathetic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that part. There's a couple of moments, isn't there, where you're like, okay, this isn't like a TV movie. This has got some shocking stuff in it. Whether it's the weird leather rubber suit thing, which is like you wouldn't necessarily see that on TV, more in like Pulp Fiction or something. And then like the sort of the killings and some of the violence just tips over a little bit. But actually, it's a pretty straightforward story. You can definitely find some creepy elements with people being inside the walls, because that is kind of scary feeling that somebody, because we all hear like drips and cracks and things expanding and contracting in our houses, and if you really focus on them, that's all you can think of. And to imagine that there's somebody in there, even if they're not bad, they've just been trapped there because they've been bad. It's still weird.
Yeah, the thing that I find funny as well, a lot of the kind of like violent-y scenes, it's also comedic as well, and I'm thinking the bit where Fool is in the bathroom and he's hiding from Daddy, and he's like going round room from room, and he I think he uses an axe, and he chops through the door and he pokes his head through, and then Fool just like bonks him on the head, and it may as well just have that bonk. Like,
yeah, I definitely laughed at that. Yeah,
like it may as well just go.
yeah, it's definitely that. Yeah, it's you're right. Did any of it scare you when you were a kid then?
I don't think it necessarily scared me. It just kind of freaked me out. Like the rubber suit, that stayed with me for a long time. It stayed with me for a long time. Yeah, nothing really scared me. Like the kids under the stairs. I mean, yeah, they do look quite freaky, but you see them at the end, and they're obviously we'll get to it, but they're freed and they go out and they seem happy, and they're just it's like they've been released.
There's a film called The Sentinel, which Michael Winner made, and he has all the kind of ghostly, strange characters, but he has them with like acting out as people who have physical deformities themselves, which is morally a bit sketchy, but also because of the way they played it and the actions and stuff made it really, really scary. Whereas in this one, obviously that's not the case.
No.
But yeah, it's there's a few moments, isn't there, that make you realise it's a Wes Craven film, and there's some like weird stuff going on. There's like a couple of, and I think that's what subverting that kind of thing is the reason things stick with you. So obviously there's the parents of this girl, and then we find out that they're not necessarily like traditional husband and wife. And then we also find that they have weird sexual stuff that's kind of, but they're also like, there's a lot of religious kind of things that they say, which is kind of all twisted. And then there's like moments in some of the things. There's like I think one of the characters. So Leroy is thingy, isn't it? Ving Rhames. Where I'm watching it and I'm thinking, oh, this is just like a kind of kids horror, and like an Eerie Indiana kind of thing. And then he says something like, "I'm going to be the secretary of pussy," and you're like, oh, okay. Maybe the president will make. I was like, oh, okay, so yeah, no, this is definitely not like just a TV movie.
Fool and Alice, they try and escape, but she's too scared to jump out the window. So he promises to come back for her, which he does with the police. Although Mummy and Daddy, they do a very good job of hiding things and acting normal. So yeah, once they leave, we see that Fool has obviously snuck in through the back door to go back for Alice.
Alice?
Alice?
Who the... No.
Yeah, and I think it's around this time where it's revealed that, they're not actually well, mummy and daddy are husband and wife. They're actually brother and sister as well.
Oh my days.
Yeah.
What will those crazy Americans get up to next?
Yeah, and then
Just a joke, guys. If you're from America, if you're married to your sister.
So the movie ends up in like a big climactic scene where Fool frees the people under the stairs to kill Mummy with Alice's help, because I think she realizes she's not actually their daughter. She was stolen, I think. They take her, or yeah.
Yeah, It's not as simple as we
No.
initially thought. Yeah. It's complicated.
And then Daddy, he gets blown up in an explosion in the hidden vault that's down in the basement, sending money blasting out the chimney and then raining down upon everyone in the neighborhood. Free money! Yeah.
Where that person comes to the door as well is a funny, like, to complain, and she's just like, she gets a little bit more than she expected.
Yeah.
To be fair, she does come back with everybody in the neighborhood later on.
Yeah. So, all right. First time watch. What are you thinking? How well do you like or dislike this movie? 1 to 10. What are you gonna give it?
It was fine. It was fine. It can't fault the acting. You can't fault some of the creativity of the stuff that happens within it. It felt a little bit slight in some ways, and a little bit, like there's not a lot of memorable. Like, it's not a film that I will probably go back to. I will probably give it, and don't hate me if it's like a childhood favourite, 5.5.
Okay. All right.
10.
5.5. Let me write that down. 5.5. Yeah, I mean, it is quite a childhood favourite of mine. I get a lot of nostalgia from it. Obviously, having it on VHS, this would have been like one of my earlier ones that I started on. So, yeah, I really like it. It takes me back. Does it have silly, tongue-in-cheek moments? I mean, yeah, sure. But I feel like it's done respectfully. It's not too much. It's not like slapstick. It's like, maybe they could have dialed it back a smidge, but I think it was all right. I think it was done quite well. And like you said, it was a good cast. The acting was perfectly fine. So yeah, I'm going to go probably on par with Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes have given this a 70%. So okay. I'm gonna go along with it, and I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Does it? Is it? What? How many times do you reckon you've seen it, roughly?
Oh, I don't know. It's not one that I always go back to. I probably when I was younger and I had it on VHS, I might have watched it quite a lot. But over the years, I don't know, maybe every other year, maybe every couple of years, right. I might go back and visit it. But,
so you'll notice a lot more about it than I would on one watch. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's cool. 5.5 for you, 7 for me. Awesome. Yeah, and that's what we have for today. Next episode. I knew this was going to be a quick episode. I don't really know what else to say.
Tick that one off.
Yep, that's done.
I mean, I think that probably, there isn't. I've not got like a load of quote unquote like content about this film, but I definitely don't think it was a bad film.
No.
But yeah, I think that it's not in my. And I'm not like a massive Wes Craven, like huge, like in wrestling terms. I'm not like a massive mark for Wes Craven. But like I love Scream and Nightmare on Elm Street and what have you. So yeah, it was interesting to learn about it and hear about it. And also, like, I'd probably be more scared of the idea of it than the actual film.
Yeah. But if they were to remake this, would you want to see that? Would you like to see where they go with it if they did it
Yeah,
more modernised?
Yeah, I think I would. I don't know how they would. I think they'd have to go in a completely different direction. Just keep to the general concept of incestuous people keeping people in a prisoner inside the walls of the house, and that's a good starting point for a film.
Yeah.
And then it'll all come down to if they can get actors that are as good at pulling that off as the ones that they did, because it is very, very well cast. And a lot of those people, it's their first film. AJ Langer's first film, Sean Whalen's first film. So I don't know if it's the kid who plays Fool, Brandon Quintin Adams. No, because he's in loads of music videos. He was in the Michael Jackson film Moonwalker, which I remember getting from the video shop when I was a kid. So he was in quite a lot of stuff. But he does a good job as well. Fair play to him.
Yeah.
Oh, he was in loads. He was in Smooth Criminal. He was in Moonwalker. He was in the second video for Smooth. He was in Quantum Leap. He was in Different World, Empty. Oh man, this kid had loads of experience. No wonder he was good.
I just remembered. So the guy that plays who does he play? Leroy. So Ving Rhames.
Yeah.
This must have been like his second time against a guy in a gimp suit, because in Pulp Fiction, if you've seen Pulp Fiction, he gets it pretty bad against a guy with a gimp.
Ving Rhames, just not a lucky guy, I guess.
Yeah.
Or a lucky guy, I guess, to be in Pulp Fiction, massively popular film. But it's I guess he got to be in more straightforward, less weird stuff because he was in all the Mission Impossibles, wasn't he, as well?
True. Yeah.
So he's not Marcellus Wallace. People will probably remember him more as Marcellus Wallace.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that. I think I saw that at the cinema. that was a wild ride.
Yep. Cool. All right. Just wrap up. Next episode. I really struggled to try and think of a film for next episode, and then I was having a look through, and I was thinking we could do a sequel. How do you feel about Evil Dead 2?
Sure. Do you know what? I may have seen that, or I may not have. I can't remember.
Ooh.
Because again, it's not a franchise that I'm like a fanboy of. I've come to appreciate the first one more and more over time.
Yeah.
I saw the most recent one, and I thought that was like half amazing and half not so good. So it'd be interesting. I believe this is supposed to be very, very good. I've kept meaning I want to see is the medieval themed one the third one?
yeah, the third one, Army of Darkness. They tend to get more silly as they go on. I know they did like 3 normal ones, and then they did like remakes and spin-offs, but I think 2, I'll have to watch it, it's been a while, but I think 2 is literally like a standalone movie separate from the first. Right. It doesn't carry on. I think they've literally just gone back and do it again, but more silly.
my friend's always trying to get me to watch My Name is Bruce.
My Name is Bruce.
Supposed to be really good. Where essentially Bruce Campbell gets trapped in a Evil Dead style situation, and everyone expects him to be Ash, and he's Bruce Campbell.
Oh, okay. I've not heard of that one. I've been meaning to watch the TV series Ash versus the Evil Dead. Yeah, so I think this is My Name is Bruce is 2007, but my friend said it's really, really good. He did a review of it on my channel actually. So I've been meaning to watch that as well. So I do need to kind of watch them all maybe again in order. Not that from what it sounds like from what you're saying, it doesn't really matter if I watch them in order. It really doesn't matter, I think. Yeah. You can pick anyone up and put it on. I don't think you need to see the one before. Yeah. All right, cool. We'll do that one on the next one. Looking forward to watching that one again. It's a ride. Write that down now so I don't forget, because that's how my brain works. Evil Dead 2. I believe it's called Dead by Dawn, but I don't know. I've always just called it Evil Dead 2, but I've got a feeling It's known as Dead by Dawn.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Unless you got anything else you want to add to this one, I'll see us out.
I think that's it. I think we've talked as much as a human being can talk about people under the stairs on.
I think
Or
so.
two human beings.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. So if you've liked today's episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We love hearing from you, so why not drop a comment and then maybe put your own personal rating from 1 to 10. That's a wrap for today, so thanks a lot for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
This is my boomstick.